Hello again everyone, David Flint from Flintart, Australia. Well, we're going to go on a bit of an Australian theme for our next few drawings. I'm going to concentrate on trying to draw some unique Australian animals, only unique to Australia, and we'll have a lot of fun doing that. Today we're going to draw a koala, a little cuddly koala, although they've got nice claws on them, so you've got to be careful if you pick one up. Not recommended if you're out in the bush and you come across a koala. However, if you're at a zoo within the city you live in, you may be able to pick one up with somebody that knows what they're doing when they're picking them up. So having said that, you don't need much. Again, it's like all of our other drawings that we do. You just need something to draw on, a piece of paper of some sort. Doesn't matter if it's A4, A3, a notepad, whatever it is, as long as you can draw on it, and something to draw with. You may wish to draw with a grey lead first, or you can go straight up with a Sharpie. I'm going to go straight up with a Sharpie, or a texter, or marker, and then we'll add some colour to that when we're finished, maybe a little bit of a background as well. Having said that, let's get creative. Okay everyone, ready to start our koala, very unique Australian animal. And what I'm going to do first of all is just start off with a grey lead, just to give myself a few guidelines, and then I'll go over it after that with a Sharpie, just to darken up the lines and give it a bit more character. Once I'm done that, I'll speed things up and have a go at colouring in, and also probably add a little bit of a background in there as well. So, where do we start? I'm going to start today with the head of the koala. Now, as I said, I'm going to sort of just do some guidelines to start, and then I'll add a little bit more detail when I'm ready to use my Sharpie. So I'm going to start with the head. So we're doing a portrait direction koala, because he's going to be probably sitting on the branch of a tree, and I'm going to use my page in a portrait direction. It's up to you if you want to do yours in a landscape, but I'm going to go portrait. So here we go. Let's start with his head. So this is the top of the koala's head. Just have a few little spiky bits here like that, and then I'm going to do his ear coming up like this. Now remember, this is just a bit of a rough guide for me, and then I'll go back over the koala's line work here with the pencil when I'm finished. Give it a bit more character. You can see I'm sort of sketching. I'm not just doing single straight lines like this, you know. I'm sort of sketching this out. And that's exactly how I want it to look, a bit sketchy sort of, this one. Because koalas are a little bit quite furry, so they don't look like they've got completely straight lines. Now here's the other ear going on here, and then come around and down this way, sort of thing like this. Try and make it around about the similar size to this one here. As we come down like this, go back up here, something like that. Now, as I said, they're quite furry, so they're going to look a little bit sort of jaggedy lines all over the place, quite jagged sort of lines, so don't worry about that, that's all good, not a problem with that. So that's the top of his head there, and two of his ears. If you can see that okay right now. Now I'm going to come down to do the bottom of his face down through here, and that's going to come sort of down like this, and you see I'm still doing these sort of jaggedy spiky lines, bit zigzaggy sort of stuff going on, and then this other side of his face over here, that'll be coming down around here. Now this part here will be where his sort of his bottom of his jaw is, so join that up to there like so. Just like that. Now this part here is pretty important to try and do your best to get this right, and that's the koala's nose. It's sort of a distinctive type nose they've got, so we want to sort of try and get that part right. So here we go. We'll do his eyes. Actually, no, we'll do his nose. So here's the nose. The nose shape is sort of around about, you want to start around about in the middle of the koala's head. So here's the distance of the head. You sort of want to start around about the middle and bring it down to about here, because we've still got to get his mouth in as well. So let's start with the nose. It's a sort of a funny shape. So come around like that first, and then a bit like this, and then up like that, and then around here like this. So sort of a strange sort of shape, something like that. If you can manage something like that, it's not doesn't have to be exactly the same. I mean, you're going to know this is a koala when you're done anyway. Now what we want to do here is we want to have a bit of a lip coming down. So you have this line here, there, and then you sort of curl that around like that, like this, with a little bit of a line there. Okay, and the same on this side here, and a little bit of a line there, just like that. Okay, now eyes. Let's have a look at the eye. The eyes are sort of a almost almondy, sort of an almond type shape. Let's do this sort of thing here. That's the sort of eye shape that I want to get for my koala, like that. And then another one over on this side here, the same similar sort of shape on that side. Sort of try and get them in around about the same sort of line. It doesn't matter if they're off a little bit, because the koala could have its head tilted to one side a little. So that's it there, something like that. And then inside there you can sort of fill the eye in a bit to put some sort of round shapes inside, and a little pupil in there. You can work on that a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy, because I'm going to go over this with a Sharpie in the end. So I don't want to put too much detail. I might even just fill that in with black. We'll see how I go. Anyway, that's basically the sort of shape I want for my koala's head. Now, next, let's get the body happening here. So I'm going to come down from the back here, and again, these lines will sort of be a bit jaggedy, sort of, because they're quite furry, these koalas. And then come down here like this, again with my sort of my jagged sort of lines coming down like that. Stop about there. That's pretty good. And then his back leg, I've probably gone a little bit far there, so what I might do is just rub out a little bit of that. So remember, when we're sketching, we want to sketch nice and lightly, so we're not unable to rub it out in the end. So his foot, the back of his front foot, is sort of going to curve around like this underneath him a bit, and then back up like that, and then that'll be one of his toes there. And then have another one coming up there like that, and then one sort of small one on the top there, and that's going to come back around to around about here somewhere. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop that part there, because I'm going to come down from the top here, so I know where to I'm going to draw the other part of his body here, so I know where to finish this foot off. So up here, I'm going to come down from just under his neck there, again with some jagged stuff happening here, and then coming out with a little bit of a belly, and then back down sort of into here, right around there somewhere, just like that. And that is going to give me the spot where I need to go for the top of his foot here, and that's going to curl back into there, something like that. Okay, so that's the koala so far with his front foot, just like that. And then the other one's going to come down and sit sort of back behind here. So again, a few jagged sort of bits. Then this comes around like this to do the other foot, and that's going to go toe there, another toe there, and then sort of just finish, or you can do another toe there if you like, sort of have that one going behind this one. Okay, something like that. I'll fix this up with a Sharpie in a minute. Okay, now, arms. The front legs or the front arms. They are arms because they do use their arms to climb, so I guess they're arms, not legs. So, here's the first arm on this side. Is going to come from about here, again with some jagged lines, zigzags, and that's going to come around a bit like this. Here'll be his first claw, there, another one here, and then a third one I'm going to do there like that, and then that'll come back around again with some jagged line like that, something just like that. Okay, on this side, let's have a look. I'm going to do a bit, and we can play around with the arms and stuff a bit, like I said, later on we do some Sharpie. So here's the other arm, coming out from this side over here. This one's going to come out a bit higher than the other one. Here's one claw, two claws, three claws. I'm going to do another one there too, four, and then go back again with some zigzaggy sort of lines, like so. Okay, got pretty short little arms this guy, but that's alright. You can't really see that one on that side anyway. So there is my koala. So thus far, I might change him a little bit as I add Sharpie to him. And you can have a bit of a play around with all these zigzag lines. It's kind of cool doing some work with some zigzags instead of just straight lines or curved lines. We've got some pretty zigzaggy stuff going on here. But anyway, you can have a bit of a play with that and see what you come up with. I'm going to add some Sharpie into this and see what I come up with. And with the background, what I was thinking of doing was actually just having him sitting on a branch. So I might just do a bit of a line here like this, have that going through there to the other side, and make it look like he's sitting on a bit of a branch like this. Just sitting on a branch. And then maybe, actually, instead of doing that, right here, I'm going to rub that part out. I'll rub that bit out, and what I'll do is make this a tree branch actually, and you can sort of be hanging onto the tree. This can be the main part of the tree here, the trunk, and that part of the tree can be just a branch sticking out from the side like this, you know, that sort of thing. It can be a bit of a, and then here's the rest of the tree going up here. You can have some other branches sticking out up there if you wanted to. That'd be okay, but they might be up above his head because he needs some room to sit. Okay, there is my koala sitting on the limb of a tree. Now what I'm going to do is add some Sharpie and some colour, and I might speed that up a little bit, I think, just to make it a bit quicker for you to watch. Alright, hope you enjoy that everyone, and I will see you for our next Australian animal in another episode. Bye for now.
Flintart.